Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 379 based on novel. So let's start. This is the origin of the Demon Emperor Tian Hen and the Demon of Light. And the sky-splitting demon spear, which ranks third in the demon world, has disappeared since the Demon Emperor was sealed, but this tyrannical weapon is extremely domineering. It is a pity that only the Demon Emperor has been able to control it since ancient times. The man kept shaking his head, and the regret in his voice was very obvious, but when this guy spoke, his eyes kept rolling, as if he was thinking about other malicious things. This guy. Xiao Yang felt a little suspicious after listening to what this guy said. Judging from Xiao Yang's soul power and sense of smell, this guy's soul power has always been in a fairly quiet state, so he is lying. The possibility is extremely small, but this kind of thing that is extremely important to the demon world, and even the Black Fiend Dragon Wolf is not necessarily so clear. How can a 5-star fighting immortal in this area be so clear? If there were no hidden secrets, Xiao Yang would definitely not believe it. Hey, don't look at me. The reason I know these things is because when I entered the demon world, I accidentally got a piece of the demon book, which was recorded on it. Seeing Xiao Yang's vigilant appearance, the man opened his mouth. Road. Monster book? Xiao Yang asked in surprise. Yes, the demon book. It is said that this is a demon book that records the rare treasures in the demon world, and it even has the method of how to find the demon's fate, so that it has a detailed record of the 10 major weapons and records of other treasures. But the things that can be recorded in the fragments of the demon book are limited. The man said quite fiery. Give me that shard, and I can protect you from the demon world. After pondering for a while, Xiao Yang said, Boy, are you really a little master and I'm scaring you? To tell you the truth, I have a fragment of a demon book on my body. It can help me find the demon book. But if I want to give it to you, there is no door. The bound man said coldly. Seeing the man in being so stubborn, an invisible soul force leaned out from Xiao Yang's body. Your uncle's, I'll give it to you. But remember what you said. As soon as he gritted his teeth, the bound man's body shook slightly, and a green page slowly fell off. The green pages were about the size of a few palms, but the green words on them were extremely powerful. Those words gave Xiao Yang an extremely tyrannical oppression. Even today's Xiao Yang couldn't bear such tyrannical fluctuations. Now, can you let me down? The bound man smiled, but his face was very calm, and he didn't feel any pain because of the loss of the demon book fragments. Xiao Yang didn't even bother to explore the fragments of the demon book, so he put them away. Flames emerged from his palm, and he suddenly slashed at the iron chain beside the man. Bang dang bang dang. The iron chain was easily cut off by Xiao Yang, but on the iron chain, a trace of extremely strange demonic energy spread out. If it wasn't for Xiao Yang's tyrannical flames, he might not be able to match this kind of power. Boy, there will be a period in the future. The chain was just broken, and the bound man sneered, turned into a meteor, and burst out. The speed and the strangeness of the movement were the first time Xiao Yang had seen in his life. Stop for me. Xiao Yang was also a little stunned by this sudden scene, but with his 7-star fighting spirit, he couldn't catch up with this 5-star fighting fairy. With a sound, the man just broke free and fled here with a touch of strange power. Only Xiao Yang was left. This guy. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly. After scanning the wooden house for something else, he confirmed that the fragments of the demon book really existed, and then he left slowly. As for the turtle-shaped monster outside, Xiao Yang didn't either. Planning to obliterate him, easily crossed the water cliff, and moved towards Dai Chi and the others. However, facing this mysterious man and the fragment of the demon book, Xiao Yang felt that this guy was giving it to him on purpose, as if he had been tricked. Why hasn't Xiao Yang come back yet? Could it be that something happened on the way? It is said that there are some other tyrannical monsters living in the water cliff, shouldn't it? At this time, the caravan and supplies were temporarily hoarded on a hill, and the caravan captain He watched the towering intrusion not far away. Cloud's water stream cliff, puzzled. It shouldn't be, wait and see. Dai Chi slowly shook his head. Xiao Yang just wiped out the third elder Xuani with one blow. That level of strength is suffocating, and it should not be delayed by other creatures. Hey, everyone has been waiting for a long time, and got lost in the water cliff. Has the matter been resolved? Xiao Yang's figure emerged like a ghost, and his eyes glanced away at the bound people around him. It's all settled. This time, I would like to thank Brother Xiao Yang. If the brothers don't dislike it, please come to our Butterfly Valley to sit. The strong people in the valley will definitely be very happy to meet a young talent like Brother Xiao Yang. He smiled slowly. I really mean it, I hope it won't bother you anymore. Xiao Yang smiled slightly, but did not shirk, and followed He words. In that case, let's go, we should be able to reach the Butterfly Valley today. Dai Qi looked at Xiao Yang and smiled with relief. By the way, this is the demon pill of the third elder Xuani. Since he was killed by you, the things will naturally belong to you. After a while, a green pill emerged from Dai Qi's pink and tender hands, facing Xiao Yang. Throw away. This. Xiao Yang did not accept it for a while, but it was mainly because Xiao Yang didn't know what use this demon pill was for him. Ordinary monsters can rely on the enemy's demon pill to replenish themselves and repair their origins, but their human body. Just accept it, this is what you deserve. Seeing this, the other caravan figures also agreed. Then I'll be more respectful than obedient. Xiao Yang shook his head and could only take it. Wang buzzing. Just as the demon pill started, something deeply hidden in Xiao Yang's body burst out with a dazzling aura of greed. Immediately, without waiting for Xiao Yang to put the demon pill in place, he directly attacked with thunder. It was as terrifying as an evil spirit rushing towards food. When Xiao Yang saw this, countless crows flew through his heart, because the demon pill had not been warmed up in his hands, even the scum that was swallowed by the demon cube was not left. At the same time, the interior of the devil's cube was also filled up a little, and now it is also filled with 6% of the area. Are you alright? When Xiao Yang's demon cube was rioting in his body just now, a terrifying coercion of energy permeated out of Xiao Yang's body, causing a rare shock to fill the hearts of everyone in the group. After a while, Dai Qi said with concern. It's alright, let's go. Xiao Yang hurriedly covered the topic, and immediately the group crossed the plain hills and headed towards the Butterfly Valley standing in a mountain basin. Butterfly Valley is a very beautiful and soft special area. It is located in the center of a basin surrounded by dozens of mountains. The surrounding buildings are made of wood and are divided into upper and lower layers. The lower layer is based on soil and rocks. The architectural style of houses is similar to that of human beings, and above it, there are trees, like elves. This is the residence of Butterfly Valley powerhouses, and it is also the base camp of Butterfly Valley. As for the bottom, there are some sparse and ordinary the monsters live. At this time, on the second floor, inside a lush treehouse, there is green everywhere, a strange building in the shape of a butterfly, and the rich classical fragrance renders it like the residence of the Fairy of Flowers. Dai Qi, where are they going now? At this time, two human female figures stood slowly in the butterfly house. Their words and deeds were extremely elegant, but a phantom behind them danced like butterflies, which was quite strange. And on top of their hair, there are butterflies of different colors perched on them, which are quite strange. Return to the Valley Master, according to the past practice, I am afraid they will arrive today. But now Yoroxuanzong has captured many monsters on the first floor of Butterfly Valley, I'm worried. The woman hesitated. After all, the so-called Yoroxuanzong came from the 10,000 Demons Kingdom. The number of strong people is still ambition, and they are much more tyrannical than their Butterfly Valley. Send someone to pick up Dai Qi and them, and in a few days, the ancestor will come forward and have a good talk with Yaoxuanzong. And it's almost time for us to set off for the myriad demon nation. As soon as the words fell, calm was restored here. A few hours later, Xiao Yang's caravan also slowly arrived at Butterfly Valley. What a beautiful Butterfly Valley! Xiao Yang stood at the entrance of the Butterfly Valley, looking at the lifelike wooden butterfly statues, looking at the ingenious craftsmanship of this building, and couldn't help but envy. Although the buildings in the demon world are similar to those in the human world, they have a little more spiritual energy and a touch of delicacy than the human world, which is not found in the human world. Let's go. After Shorenshi, the caravan was led by He towards the warehouse on the first floor of Butterfly Valley, and Xiao Yang also followed Dai Qi logically and headed towards the Butterfly Valley base camp. The first floor of the Butterfly Valley is not much different from the cities among human beings. The bustling downtown, auction houses, mercenary unions, etc. are all available, and people come and go, which is quite lively. Miss Daeki is back. Is this line going well? Xiao Yang followed Daeki through the noisy downtown like a tourist, and was greeted by many passing monsters along the way, but he responded kindly to each of them. This made Xiao Yang's evaluation of this girl skyrocket a lot for a while. Although this Dai Qi is quite weak in combat, it also has her advantages. It seems that you are very popular in the Butterfly Valley. Xiao Yang said jokingly as he walked to a quiet path. The figures gradually disappeared. Nothing, it's all a gift to show love. By the way, there seems to be something not simple about you. But a supernatural being like me is still pretty simple. Daichi nodded lightly. Xiao, there is always a faint oppression swept out of Yang's body. This kind of oppression is definitely not something that ordinary monsters can have. Seeing that there are few people around, he couldn't help asking curiously. Yeah. Xiao Yang responded, but this Daiki has a very good way of dealing with people, that is, treating people with sincerity. In the future, for some reason, this girl became the ruler of the demon world. Let's go, the owner of the valley should be very happy to see you. After a sound, the two followed a wooden vine and slowly walked towards the wooden house where the core members of Butterfly Valley lived. Miss, are you back? Is it going well all the way? As soon as they entered the second floor of Butterfly Valley, a shrewd guard surrounded them with a smile on their faces. Well, it went well. I encountered some dangers on the way, but fortunately, there is this guy who shot, is the owner of the valley here. I will take this guy over there. Daichi said softly. The owner of the valley has been waiting in the hall for a long time, and it seems that I have something to look for you. Miss, this way please. After speaking, he made a gesture of please. Captain, it's not good. Yarrow Xuanzong has another powerhouse coming to make trouble, and dozens of us have been injured in succession. What should we do now? Just as Daichi and Xiao Yang lifted their feet and moved, a hurried sound of breaking wind came from attacked from behind. What's going on? Xiao Yang wondered. It's all the arrogant elites from our respective forces, who are fighting to be strong all day long, so. Daichi shook his head. Captain, the guy here this time is led by the second elder of Yaoshen sect, and he is aggressive. It seems that it is not just for exchanges, but also in the training ground. Come and see. The guard said urgently. Okay, I'll go right now. Sorry, miss, I can't take you there. Let's go. As soon as the voice fell, the two went directly in the opposite direction of the Guju's residence. Daichi said in a low voice, looking at Xiao Yang's motionless appearance. Let's go take a look. I'm afraid this old guy is here for Xuani's business. Xiao Yang said with a smile. But the matter of Xuani is not strictly matched, and it will not be revealed. Daichi seemed to be quite puzzled and doubted. Hey, let's go. Xiao Yang didn't say much, and directly followed the two captains of the guards towards the training ground. Daichi probably didn't know much about the world. Xiao Yang believed that Yarrow Xuanzong would not let it go so easily. Excuse. Not far away, in an open field at the edge of Butterfly Valley, several burly men are guarding here, but at this time, there are already dozens of people with weak breaths, while on the other side, there are only 3 people. The 3 are headed, dressed in white and slim, and the old face shows his power that is completely different from the figures around him. In addition, there are 2 young men, but the violent demons on these 2 men are like as bright as the sun. Dailan, if the younger generation of your Butterfly Valley has such strength, I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to manage the land of Butterfly Valley. In my opinion, it's better to hand over this territory to us. In the future, all the monsters will also remember your Butterfly Valley's righteous actions. What do you think? The old man spoke slowly, his voice full of sarcasm. You bastard. As soon as the voice fell, a middle-aged woman in the field hurriedly helped the injured people aside, and immediately became very angry. Fourth elders, it is absolutely impossible. The younger generation's discussion is based on affection and reason. If you do it, I'm afraid it will cause grievances between the 2 forces. Just as the cold demon aura spread out from the woman's body, the guard beside her hurriedly persuaded. Are you invincible in the Butterfly Valley? Butterfly Valley, it's just like that. At this time, the 2 men beside the white-clothed old man said extremely arrogantly and domineeringly, and the proud expressions seemed to have no fear. Let me try it. Before the 2 figures fell, a soft laughter spread from a distance. Oh! Just listening to the voice, the white-clothed old man from Yaoshen sect and Jegu Dailan looked at the source of the voice for a while, because the voice alone contained a terrifying power that was enough to make them face it. Oh! The second elder of Yaroxuanzong followed the voice, but was surprised to see a thin man in a black shirt. Daichi, are you back? This is. Looking at Daichi, who was quietly following Xiao Yang in the distance, Elder Dailan ran over with a single stride. Xiao Yang's voice just fell, only to see Dailan running to Daichi's side, a big hug with Xiong, especially the 2 beautiful shadows, which made Xiao Yang involuntarily cough a few times. Could it be that the female monsters in the monster world are so enthusiastic? That deflectable skin and soft peaks, plus. Incredible. Sister Dailan, don't make trouble, someone is here. Daichi hurriedly turned her cheeks pink, pushed Dailan away and said shyly, Daichi was also quite helpless about Dai Lan's enthusiastic way. By the way, this is Xiao Yang. We had to rely on his protection along the way, and we arrived smoothly. After a while, Daichi hurriedly introduced. What are you? You're also worthy of fighting with me? Seeing the two beauties beside Xiao Yang, the two young talents beside the white-robed old man couldn't help but roar with red eyes. Yarou Xuanzong's dog really only does some annoying things. Xiao Yang walked towards the training ground step by step. His tone was extremely indifferent, even arrogant. Since these two guys are ignorant, they are even more arrogant than them. Boy, don't be arrogant. The old man in white also snorted coldly, trying to suppress Xiao Yang's arrogance. Your Butterfly Valley really has no successor, and you actually sent such a weak one out to die. The two young talents sensed Xiao Yang's strength, and the 5-star fighting immortal, combined with the bright smile on Xiao Yang's face, spread a trace of contempt. Boy, are you sure? Dai Lan asked Xiao Yang without writing too much. You can give it a try. Xiao Yang thought it was a little funny. Could it be that these demon Xuanzong guys are a bunch of idiots, two young talents with 6-star Dozyan perfection, and a second elder whose strength is close to the middle stage of 7-star Dozyan? The lineup, even in the Do-Di continent, is close to the top strength. In the demon world, it is actually just an ordinary force fighting for territory. This kind of gap made Xiao Yang helpless, but Xiao Yang had no idea that this myriad demon nation was one of the few fertile territories under the rule of the Black Devil Dragon and Wolf, and it competed with the Li Soul realm. Boy, kneel down and call me grandpa, I can spare you, otherwise don't blame me. After a while, one of the two men stepped forward and snorted coldly. Too much nonsense, the two of you go together, otherwise don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Listening to the man's sarcastic words, Xiao Yang also responded in a more arrogant and sarcastic tone. Little beast, you don't want to give your face. Let's do it together and kill him. Seeing Xiao Yang's humiliation, the two men did not hesitate. The dazzling green demonic energy within their bodies spread out, and the power of 6-star Dozyan's perfection was undoubtedly on display. Earth-type monsters and Thunder-type monsters. Xiao Yang shook his head powerlessly when he saw the violent aura on both of them. Boom. The two of them trembled, and a rock giant with a ferocious expression appeared behind one, while the other person appeared a black terrifying thunder, with a turbulent momentum, directly killing. Is it okay? Looking at the sudden action in the field, many Butterfly Valley powerhouses couldn't help but say, especially the powerhouses who had just been defeated by the two, their faces were even more ugly. Consummation, and the grasp of the timing of the battle can be said to be beyond ordinary people. You said this guy was your friend. Then what percentage of the odds will he have? After all, his strength seems to be only 5-star fighting immortals. Strange, how can 5-star fighting immortals be so tyrannical? Dai Lan looked at Xiao Yang, who was motionless in the field, and said in surprise, I believe him. Daichi smiled slightly, and her beautiful eyes were also staring at the battle in the field. Too slow. A roar as heavy as a mountain emerged from Xiao Yang's body. Immediately, Xiao Yang's palms stretched out at the same time, without any increase in strength, breaking through the defenses of the two in one fell swoop, and then grabbing the arms of the two, suddenly exerting force. A rather funny scene appeared. A scream came out, and the two figures were also thrown out from Xiao Yang's side like a bunch of discarded waste products. At this moment, the entire training ground was silent, and even some monsters couldn't believe the scene in front of them, and wiped their eyes with effort, but the two powerful demons from the Xuanzong were indeed thrown out by Xiao Yang, covering their entire bodies. Scarred, breathless. This guy, is it too perverted? At this moment, whether it was Dai Lan or another strong man, the shock in his heart lingered for a long time. Boy, you are courting death. Seeing Xiao Yang defeating the two of them in such a disgraceful manner, the furious emotions on the face of the white-clothed old man were undoubtedly vented. Shooting away with Xiao Yang, the fierce aura contained in it must be a 7-star fighting immortal. Not good. Xian Yao, this bastard. Watching the second elder Xian Yao's body move, attacking Xiao Yang with a chilling aura, colorful butterflies appeared all over Dai Lan's body, and the speed skyrocketed, also facing Xiao Yang. Go, but still can't catch up. Who? It's just the middle stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. Let me try. Seeing this, Xiao Yang didn't panic at all. Instead, his pupils slowly became darker, and the dragon transformation came out. Out. Boom. For a time, the two fists banged, and the entire training ground shook uncontrollably, as if the energy ripples caused by the power of the two were too terrifying. Brother Xiao Yang. Not good. At this time, many people around him couldn't help but say in fear, Xiao Yang. Seeing Xiao Yang not dodging or dodging, directly confronting Shen Yao, Dai Lan gritted her teeth, for fear that Xiao Yang would have any accident. Are you actually a 7-star fighting immortal? As soon as he was knocked back and scattered, the figure of the mysterious demon suddenly retreated dozens of steps, and a trace of blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. It was obvious that he had fallen into the disadvantage of the confrontation just now. There will be a period in the future. Zaidu glanced at Dai Lan's terrifying momentum attacking Shen Yao, snorted coldly, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and took the 2 dying guys behind him, trying to leave here. Want to run? Stay for me. Dai Lan didn't know what was going on, but just watched the mysterious demon about to run away, and immediately the aura increased, and suddenly surrounded it. Since you're here, let's stay. Red flame sea of fire. Xiao Yang sneered when he saw the mysterious demon's method. Countless fiery red flames emerged from his body, rendering the entire training ground a real sea of fire. Surrounded by giant dragons, there is no power to fight back at all. You little girl, this time you brought back an amazing guy. At this moment, looking at Xiao Yang's gentle smile, the Butterfly Valley powerhouses present involuntarily raised a sense of respect in their heart. In the demon world, regardless of one's background, the strong are respected, and this Xiao Yang actually relied on his own strength to defeat the 2 6-star Dozian consummation and the second elder of the Yarrow Shen sect in the middle stage of the 7-star Dozian without fighting back. The indescribable comfort surrounds everyone's heart. Little beast, don't go too far. The whole body was wrapped in hot flames, and there were several fire dragons staring at them, and the mysterious demon's pupils were extremely angry, but there was nothing he could do. Originally, he came with a purpose. He used 2 6-star Doshen perfection disciples to stare at the younger generation of Butterfly Valley's powerhouses, and then shoved the fall of the third elder Xuani to Butterfly Valley, triggering a battle between the 2 forces. Panic, so they set up an ambush to obliterate them in the dark, but the roadblocks that were killed along the way destroyed all their plans, and even accompanied themselves in, which Shen Yao did not expect. Little guy, you've done a good job, then leave it to your sister. Seeing this, Dai Lan cast a charming look at Xiao Yang, and then the butterfly all over her body carried a light and mysterious power, facing Shen Yuan. The demon attacked. Dai Lan and Shen Yao were both in the middle stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. With the help of Xiao Yang Huahai, it was only a matter of time before he could be subdued. Thank you very much. Seeing Xiao Yang let go and step aside, Daichi hurried over and said, What is the strength of the strongest of Yarrow Xuanzong? Xiao Yang asked. It's their suzerain Shen Yuan, who is said to be a 7-star Dozian consummate powerhouse. He used to serve in the Myriad Demon Nation, but he was expelled for doing some illegal things. Daichi didn't know why Xiao Yang asked this way. Dao still said what he knew. Will there be an 8-star fighting immortal powerhouse? Xiao Yang wondered. After all, now that his strength has reached the 7-star fighting immortal, the swallowing technique can no longer be performed. Today's Xiao Yang's strength is only in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortal. All kinds of means, under the 8 stars are invincible, but if you encounter the 8 stars, it will be extremely difficult. In our demon world, if the strength reaches the level of 8-star fighting immortals, it must be under the surveillance of the powerful people in the demon country, so there will be no strong 8-star fighting immortals in the periphery of the demon country. Daichi said affirmatively. It's solved, let's go, tonight's celebration party. Having caught their second elder, with the handle, the rest will be much easier to do. Dai Lan said with a smile. Yoroxuanzong and Diegu were already on equal footing, but now they have Xiao Yang's help and their sect. The second elder of the door is naturally quite easy. Brother Xiao Yang, the ancestors have a request. At this moment, an elegant voice came out and passed through the void. The Valley Master. Everyone heard the words and couldn't help but be surprised. The Valley Master was a strong man in the late stage of the 7-star fighting immortals. He came and went without a trace in the valley. Is the simple generation. I'll take you there. At this moment, Daichi's expression also became serious. If the owner of the valley came forward, things would become confusing. After all, the ancestors are now preparing how to resolve the matter of Yarrow Xuanzong, and the rest are all waiting. No, this time to summon Xiao Yang, the intention is already obvious. After the rest, Daichi took Xiao Yang to the open space in front of a butterfly stone monument in the Butterfly Valley, and immediately left in a panic, leaving Xiao Yang alone. This place is very strange. Xiao Yang glanced at it, but found that there are hundreds of flowers blooming in the open space here, and there are hundreds of butterflies of different colors flying on the stamens, only the so-called Butterfly Valley old ancestor disappeared. At a young age, he was able to reach the strength of the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals, and he could easily wound the second elder of the Yoroxuanzong, and wiped out the third elder of the Yoroxuanzong, Xuani, with a single blow. The little guy is not easy. When Xiao Yang was surprised, hundreds of butterflies fell from the stamens and came towards Xiao Yang. After resting, an elderly man surrounded by butterflies appeared in front of Xiao Yang with a mysterious crutch in the shape of a butterfly. Wang buzzing. At this moment, the soul power in Xiao Yang's body shook violently, and a self-defense spread out the soul power. It seemed that the old man in front of him gave Xiao Yang an extremely tyrannical oppression. Junior Xiao Yang has seen senior. Seeing this, Xiao Yang respectfully clasped his fists and said, "You're not a human. It stands to reason that I should bring you to justice, but since you help us in many things in Butterfly Valley, I won't care about you." The old man smiled slowly, his voice it is full of deep meaning and intriguing. Senior is really good at seeing. The junior came from the human world and entered the demon world to find someone. But I just entered the demon world and was hunted down by the cracks in time and space. I fell into a coma and Miss Daeki saved me. Naturally, I want to repay this favor. Now that Miss Daeki is safely sent back to the valley, I should also leave. Xiao Yang cupped his hands, and immediately moved his footsteps slightly, walking casually, and left here. This guy is also a good seedling. If he can represent our family to join the army in the 10,000 demons, I'm afraid. Little guy, wait. After some thought, a light butterfly blocked Xiao Yang's way, and the body of the Butterfly Valley ancestor appeared in front of Xiao Yang in a strange way surrounded by butterflies. Senior is this? Xiao Yang asked in confusion, his brows furrowed. If this guy is relying on the old and selling the old, Xiao Yang will be able to turn this place upside down even at the cost of serious injuries. You have already made an enmity with Yoroxuanzong. In addition, your identity is unknown. If you are used by Yoroxuanzong's minded people, I'm afraid your situation is in danger. Butterfly Valley ancestor smiled. What do you mean, senior? Tell me clearly. Xiao Yang also smelled something from this guy's words and said, "It's simple. I want you to wipe out the entire demon Xuanzong." Butterfly Valley's ancestor smiled slowly, as if he had settled on Xiao Yang. Impossible. Xiao Yang shook his head directly. There was no room for maneuver. What if I could cover up all the human anger on you, so that the big demon knight in the demon world couldn't find it? Butterfly Valley's ancestor still laughed. The conditions are very attractive, but it won't work. Xiao Yang also said coldly, and also talked with him with great interest. I can recommend you to the king of myriad demons, so that you have the qualifications to go to the ancient battlefield. The ancient battlefield contains countless treasures from almost the entire demon world. You should not miss it. Deal. After Shurenshi, the two negotiated and reached a consensus. The Butterfly Valley ancestor served in the myriad demons in the early years. Although he has retired, he still has a lot of right to speak. Xiao Yang wants him to recommend him to avoid a lot of trouble. Of course, there are two more important points. Although the king of 10,000 demons is under the jurisdiction of the Haisha Dragon Wolf, but now the Haisha Long Wolf is nowhere to be seen, his large army has been stationed in the ancient battlefield at this time, and is maintaining the final battle. The fragments of the demon book that recorded many secrets of the demon world showed that the demon book existed in the ancient battlefield, and even in this ancient battlefield, there was something that was enough to attract Xiao Yang. That kind of thing was not Holy Flame, but a demon world tyrant. With all these things, Xiao Yang was naturally willing to agree to this deal. Tell me when you're ready, and I'll let Daeki take you there. Daeki will tell you everything you want to know. Whether it happens or not, you will always be our Butterfly Valley friend. Seeing Xiao Yang so cheerful, the Butterfly Valley ancestor smiled happily. Xiao Yang has many secrets, and even if you do it yourself, you may not be able to get it. Let him go, so it is better to give him a favor. If he can obliterate the Yaroxian sect, it would be a good idea to give him some help. In a hurry, just tonight. Okay. As soon as the two of them finished speaking, Dai Qi and Xiao Yang just disguised a little, left here, and headed towards the residence of Yaroxian sect. At the same time, the scorching sun also faded, and the darkness enveloped here. A layer of a cold breath swept the earth. On the other side, Yoroxuanzong, because they are outsiders, their base camp is stationed on a ridge, and because the terrain of this ridge is uneven, there are only a few buildings, and the rest are tents with clothes and water. Corrupted by the cold wind and cold, it is quite miserable. This ghost weather is really cold, and I don't know why the sect master and the others haven't attacked Butterfly Valley. As I said, it's not over until we directly press the army to slaughter Butterfly Valley, and now I have been suffering this kind of torture here. At this time, outside the camp, the guards and monsters patrolling one after another were wrapped in layers of energy shackles, but it was still eroded by the biting cold wind, and immediately complained. Okay, don't say a word. Now that the whereabouts of the second and third elders are unknown, the sect master is full of anger. Another guard looked around and said, I'm sorry, I borrowed the identities of the two. But when the two patrolled a rather dark corner, a shadow like a ghost instantly immersed the two into the darkness. Where did the shadow of the shadow come from, and patrolled in a similar manner? Sir Xiao Yan, these clothes are so tight. The two of them were talking and laughing like normal patrolling guards, but Daichi couldn't help whispering at this moment, and the corners of her mouth couldn't help pouting. What? Xiao Yang didn't pay attention when he just changed his clothes. Now Xiao Yang looked around vigilantly. Naturally he didn't pay attention to Daichi's changes. Hearing what the former said, he couldn't help but look at his body. Stunned. I don't know if I don't see it, but I'm startled when I see it. I don't know if it's because the patrol guard's casual clothes are too tight or because the girl's figure is too good. At this time, the two peaks are slim and slender under the neck. Xiao Yang really jumped. Incredible. This is too obvious, or I'll go in alone. After some thought, there was no way to get rid of it, Xiao Yang said. No, Sir Xiao Yang doesn't know the route here. Just in case something goes wrong, I have to follow you. Daichi said stubbornly. Forget it, let's just go. After killing Shenshan, you will naturally have your Butterfly Valley powerhouses here to deal with the funeral. He shook his head. Xiao Yang and the two patrolled leisurely for dozens of minutes. After that, they headed towards the base camp. On the other side, in the base camp of Demon Xuanzong. It is also miserable to say that the place where Yoroxuanzong lives now is only a few wooden houses, and most of the other guards still live in the tents. Now in the wooden house, both the Yoroxuanzong sect master and its elders are slowly standing in it. It's really bad luck. Xuani was originally in charge of killing Daeki. Once we catch Daeki, we can use this to force Diegu, but we didn't expect him to be plotted against him. The whereabouts of the murderer who plotted against him are also unknown, but I'm afraid he Gu can't get rid of it. At this time, there was a man with a ferocious expression in the wooden house. On his arms, there were uneven scales, densely packed like fish scales, and there was also a sticky energy around him, which was quite wet and damp. Xianshan, the suzerain of the demon Xuanzong, may have something to do with the water element, so he is a powerhouse of the water attribute. In addition to his 7-star Battle of Immortals, I am afraid that apart from the powerhouses in the myriad demon nation, when facing the leaders of other territories, should be in invincible hand. Sect Master, from my point of view, if Duan continues to suffer from the chaos, why don't we take advantage of tonight to attack the Butterfly Valley? Another white-haired old man had a flicker of wings on his body, like a bird roaming 9 days. No, the strength of the Butterfly Valley ancestor is on par with me, and there is no suitable excuse to fight to the death. Xianshan shook his head. Sect Master, there is something important to report. Just when the two were helpless, there was a hurried knock on the door outside the wooden house. What's the matter? Xianshan waved his hand, and a damp energy rushed in, opened the wooden door, and a figure rushed into his sight. Sect Master, the big thing is bad. The second elder Shen Yarrow was imprisoned by the Butterfly Valley powerhouse, and he said that we should evacuate near the Butterfly Valley, otherwise. The visitor said hurriedly, his voice was quite strange. Otherwise what? Xianshan suppressed the anger in his body, and said with an unusually deep expression. Otherwise, use the second elder's body as a mawe, said the guard Zaidu. Bang bang bang. The guard's voice just fell, and the exquisite jade bottles in the wooden house were instantly crushed by him. Also, Sect Master, the third elder fell into the hands of a guy named Xiao Yang, and even the second elder was counted by this man. The guard said in Zaidu. Xiao Yang. What a Xiao Yang. Don't let this Sect Master catch you, or you will be smashed into tens of thousands of pieces to relieve the hatred in my heart. At this moment, Xuanshan's furious eyes flashed with extremely powerful evil spirits and roared. Hey, don't look for it, Diegu Xiaoyan, uninvited. I hope the Sect Master will forgive me. Just as Xuanshan's voice fell, the entire wooden house was suddenly wrapped in a pink energy flame, a dignified flame. The breath completely isolates this place from the outside world. Domain, Acacia Flame Domain. Little bastard, you are courting death. Without any hesitation, Xuanshan's body exploded, and the fish scales on his arms flickered with dim light, roaring away at Xiao Yang. Boom. With a sound, the pink flames in the acacia flame domain automatically formed a natural flame barrier in front of Xiao Yang, resisting Xuanshan's attack. I'm here for one thing. Get out of here. Or else the body will be destroyed. Looking at the tiny cracks on the flame barrier in front of him, he could sense Xuanshan's extremely angry mood and the tyranny of the extremely terrifying demonic energy in his body, but Xiao Yang did not have any fear. He laughed. Where's the hairy boy from? In the early days of the 7-star fighting immortals, you learned to be a hero, and you are not afraid to flash your tongue? When the blow failed, Xuanshan sneered. A momentary thing. Dai Qi, protect yourself. Since you don't eat toast, you can only eat fine wine. It just so happens that I want to try it too. 7-star fighting immortals is complete. What kind of tyranny is there? Xiao Yang finished speaking, his dazzling fighting spirit showed. Then, as you wish. Seeing this, Xuanshan burst into laughter. He knew that Xiao Yang's details were unclear, so he did not intend to take it lightly, but covered his entire body with a colorless and transparent liquid, obviously preparing to use it. Full omen. This video will end here.